Fabric and why I love weaving, textiles surround us, they're everywhere. From the moment we're born to the last breath we take, we are literally wrapped in some sort of fabric, in contact with textiles. And when we wear these things, we don't experience it in the same way as when you're actually making it. And you can see individual threads that are coming together intentionally by your hand, where you are taking one-dimensional, two-dimensional thread and turning it into three-dimensional fabric and textiles. And then the magic is, you really, as you're weaving, you see a very small section of what you're working on. As the fabric goes from individual threads to actually woven material, it is wrapped around this beam at the front, and so you only see a small section. The hope is that when you come to the end of the warp and you take this off the loom, and you have 2 yards or 20 yards of this material that the community has made, that you can see how we all work together.
We started this project together, as a symbol of our togetherness. We passed the yarn from person to person, our hands weaving row upon row, building on the loom together, just as we have built our collective life together. We took an analogy, the idea that our lives and our stories, our callings, are like a tapestry, and we brought the analogy to life. We embodied it. We acted it out. Sometimes when we bring an analogy to life, we call it a sacrament. Whether this weaving is a sacrament or not, it's something that we made together, and it holds part of our story. It tells us something about who we are. Or maybe more importantly, it helps us see that who we are is not something static or predetermined. We are becoming. We are being made. We search for our vocation, our calling, not as a way to nail down a divine plan that will exempt us from having to take risks, but as a way of choosing to show up and pay attention to the calls of one another, the calls of our own hearts, the calls of our neighbors, the calls of the earth. We will not find our vocation somehow prescribed to us, separate from our day-by-day journey. It is only in patiently following the story itself through time that the threads come together and reveal themselves. In a way, what we have woven is a calendar of colors marking those liturgical seasons that so shape and guide our collective life, and a calendar of a year fraught with so much disruption and uncertainty. And all of that is part of the story. Although the story may not have a discernible meaning to us, perhaps it has a call for us, somewhere, somehow.
Take it up.
In spite of our separation and our isolation, we have been drawn together, and we are held together, just like the threads in this weaving.